Alright, today I'm going to show you how to make ramen noodles with beef chorizo, beef chorizo, absolute goodness. So what you're going to do is you're going to need ramen noodles and you're going to need some beef chorizo. And I'm going to also have some cheese that I'm going to throw in there. Alright, absolute goodness. Let's go ahead and make this. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and cook the ramen noodles. Alright, so my pack of ramen noodles right here I'm going to put in this back burner of boiling water. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up the ramen noodles. Open it up and pull out the block of ramen noodles. Some people like to crush their ramen noodles or break it in half. I don't. I put it in the water the long way. Absolute goodness. Alright, so after I put that in there, I'm going to take the crunchies, pour the crunchies in there, and then the flavoration packet, I'm actually going to keep this to the side. And I'm going to use this a little bit later. Absolute goodness. Alright, so now we're going to get started with cooking the beef chorizo. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn this pan on. We're going to turn it on to a medium low. Alright. And then I'm going to cut this open at the ends and I'm going to squeeze it out because I'm going to use this a little bit later for a different recipe. So stay tuned for this. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the beef chorizo at the end. And you see how it comes off nicely back there? Very nicely. Alright, so just peel that back and that way I can squeeze the beef chorizo out of the end right here and not get it all messy. So I'm heating the pan up. Right? Normally I would add a little bit oil to the pan when I'm cooking meat, but the beef chorizo has enough oil in it to where I won't be required to add oil to this. So I'm going to go ahead and heat it up. It's coming up to a medium. I'm going to take a test. I'm going to test to see if the water's or the pan is hot yet by putting a drop of water in there. It is not yet, so it's just heating up a little bit more, but that's not going to stop me. I'm going to go ahead and add the beef chorizo to it. I'm going to take it, squeeze a little bit out of the tube, like this, and then cut it off with a butter knife, like that. Depending on how much you want is depending on how much you're going to cook. Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit more. That's one little cube right here. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit more out, put it into the pan. It smells great already, and it's not even cooking. So once it's in the pan, I'm going to place the beef chorizo to the side, and then I'm going to take a spatula and just flatten it out a little bit if you must. Alright, flatten it out and it's going to start to cook. And meanwhile, I'm going to check on my ramen noodles on the back burner right here to make sure that they're cooking properly. Just go ahead and flip them. Now when you cook them, you don't want to cook them too much. You just want them to be al dente and then take them out. Alright, because what you're going to do is if you cook them too much, they'll be soggy noodles and you don't want soggy noodles. Absolute goodness. Alright, so the pan is starting to cook a little bit. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm working with right here. See what the sausage is working right here. Look, absolute goodness. Look at that. Alright, so that's the beef chorizo. It's starting to cook. Starting to smell really good. Zoom in a little bit more. Look at that. So the beef chorizo is cooking. I'm just going to take my spatula and just even it out like here. Take that. Take that. It's cooking nicely. And when I'm with this, I'm going to add a little bit of green onion, but I'm not going to add it right away. I'm going to add it in a little bit. So let this cook. Let me check up on the ramen noodles. They should be done. So what I'm going to do, let me zoom out. I'm going to take the ramen noodles and just strain them in this strainer right here and place them to the side and turn the back burner off. Absolute goodness. So I'm going to strain them in the strainer. Alright, and put them to the side. Turn off the back burner and let the ramen noodles just strain a little bit. Let's zoom in some more so we can get this cooking right here so we can take a look at this. Beef chorizo's cooking nicely. Absolute goodness. So I'm just going to flip it like that. And it's cooking nicely. Alright, in about like 20 more seconds, I'm going to add the green onion to this mixturation. Getting hot, nice and hot. I'm going to add the green onion to the mixturation. Add a little bit of green onion to the mixturation. And then remember that beef flavoring. I'm going to add just a little bit of the beef flavoring to the mixturation. Just add a little bit, not too much. And then the beef, I'm going to stir it up a little bit. Just get the green onion in there to get mixturated. Bring it back. And I'm going to take a slice of all-American cheese. I'm going to place the cheese right on top of this. And it's going to melt. And right when I place it on top, and I'm going to take the ramen noodles. Remember the ramen noodles that I had? I'm going to place it on top. And then I'm going to stir it. You can turn off the pan if you'd like, because there's enough heat in there to go around. Look at that. Look at that. The chorizo is mixed inside. Look at that. The cheese, the green onion. Look at that. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. Absolute goodness.